Morning students. In earlier class we have seen how the criteria is applied in order to design the machine components. But those criteria are the equations we have seen in that class, which are subjected to the simple fluctuating force. So which means either one of the stress, that is either normal fluctuating stress or normal shear stress or normal axial stress. So that is like we are seeing the example methods. But here there is some of the cases that the machine component they can also subjected to combined fluctuating stresses. That is the machine member can also subjected to fluctuating normal stress along with the fluctuating shear stress. So we know that in our first unit we have discussed, as we stated, that whenever the machine component is subjected to the both the type of stresses, that is both normal stress as well as a shear stress, we need to go with according to the normal maximum normal stress theory or maximum principal stress theory and maximum principal stress theory or maximum shear stress theory. That is the two theories we can use frequently. So whenever the stresses are going to be produced in the machine components, which means we need to find out the maximum stresses, that is the maximum shear stress as well as the maximum principal stress or maximum normal stress. In the similar case, so here also whenever the machine component is subjected to both the fluctuating stresses, that is a fluctuating normal stress as well as a fluctuating shear stress, we can go with then applying maximum principal stress theory and maximum shear stress theory. So let us see how these equations are going to be written down or modified to suit up with the combined variable loading conditions. So that is what combined variable normal stress and variable shear stress. We know that the Soderberg equation. So what is the Soderberg equation? That is sigma m by sigma y, mean stress by yield strength, plus sigma v by, that is a variable stress by endurance strength, equal to 1 by f. So this is the Soderberg equation. So now, if you want to apply this equation to the equivalent normal stress, we can modify this equation. So by multiplying yield strength, that is a sigma y, to the above equation. So we can write this equation as in this form. So sigma m, so we will get sigma y and sigma y get cancelled. Sigma m plus sigma v into sigma y by sigma e, that equal to sigma y by f. So this is how we can write the equation. So modified form of equation when we multiply the Soderberg line. So here, the term, whatever the term that is left side of the equation, we call it as equivalent normal stress. Sigma, that is denoted by sigma n, equivalent normal stress. That is a term. So on the left side, sigma n. Clear? So that is a sigma n is given by. So that is sigma m plus sigma v into sigma y by sigma e, that equal to sigma y by factor of simplification. Clear? So sigma ne. So if the stress, the component is subjected to only bending stress here, then this equivalent stress in the bending. So we can write it as a sigma NEB. So that is a bending stress, normal equivalent normal stress in bending. Sigma NEB. So similarly, if the machine component can also subjected to the axial loading. So for example, like this is cantilever. So along with the cyclic transverse loading, so we can have sigma NEB. So the same component is subjected to cyclic axial loading. So this can also written for the equivalent normal stress in axial loading. So similarly, you can write sigma NEA, so that is equivalent normal stress in axial loading. So the equation will be the same, sigma m plus sigma v into sigma y by sigma e. So but here when the sigma NEB, that is an equivalent normal stress in bending, you can find out the mean stress and variable stress using 32 m by pi dk. And here sigma NEA, that is the equivalent normal stress in axial loading, this mean stress and variable stress is going to find out by 4f by pi d square. So that so these are the two equivalent normal stresses in bending and axial loading. So we need to find out the total. Then the total equivalent stress is given by equivalent normal stress. Total equivalent normal stress is given by, so that is denoted by sigma NE equal to sigma NEB plus sigma NEB. So if there is no axial loading, the total equivalent normal stress is equal to sigma NEB. If it is no bending stress, the total equivalent normal stress is equal to NEA. That we need to remember. If both the bending and axial loading the member is subjected to, then we can find out the total equivalent stress, sum of the equivalent normal stress in bending plus the equivalent normal stress in axial loading. So here the same machine component can also subjected to cyclic torsion, that is twisting. So then it is can be modified for the shear stress, so that equivalent, so we can call it as equivalent shear stress, that we can write as tau ES, equivalent shear stress. So here this equation can be written for the shear. So similarly, so tau m, so that is the mean stress in shear plus tau v, so variable stress in shear into yield strength in shear by endurance strength in shear tau. So that is the equivalent shear stress. These are the two equations we need to remember. Sigma NEA, that is so equivalent normal stress in bending, normal stress in axial loading, and this is sigma ES, equivalent normal stress in shear. Clear? So now the machine component is subjected to equivalent normal stress as well as the equivalent shear stress, that is sigma ME as well as the tau ES. So whenever the machine component is subjected to both the loads, so that is equivalent normal stress, that is a variable equivalent normal stress as well as a variable equivalent shear stress. We know that whenever the machine component is subjected to both the stresses, so we need to apply the maximum principal stress theory or maximum shear stress theory. We need to find out the maximum stresses. So here the maximum stresses are the maximum normal stress is given by, it is a sigma NE max. So we know that how to find out the maximum stresses. Sigma NE max is equal to sigma NE by 2 plus root of sigma NE by 2 whole square plus tau ES square. So this can be equated to sigma y by factor. That is the left side term, you can left here, that is a sigma y by factor, or according to maximum principal stress theory, so that is equal to the sigma y by factor. That is the limiting value of yield strength in the simple tension. Similarly, you can also find out maximum shear stress, so that is a tau ES max is equal to root of sigma NE by 2 whole square plus tau ES square. So this can be equated to tau y by factor of safety, or you can write sigma y by 2 into factor of safety. Clear? So which is similar to the earlier cases of static loading conditions. So in the fluctuating also, the machine members can also subjected to fluctuating bending, that is a fluctuating normal stress or fluctuating shear stress. We can apply, or we need to find out the maximum normal stress and maximum shear stress using this relation, that can be equal to the limited values. For that we can find out the diameters. Clear? This is how we can apply the Soderberg line method or the design of a fluctuating stresses subjected to the combined loading condition. So here let us see one of the example problem for that. So here it is. So it is subjected to torsional moment. So again, the moments is given. So that is T max. So maximum torsional moment at 330 Newton meter clockwise. So and there is an anti-clockwise. So that clockwise indicates plus and anti-clockwise indicates the negative sign. So that is a minimum torque 110 Newton meters. And applied to a bending moment of critical section varies from so 440 Newton meters to minus 220 Newton meters. That is the M max is given and the M minimum is given. So you can observe here. So the machine component is subjected to twisting moment, which induces a torsional shear stress, that is a fluctuating shear stress or variable shear stress, along with the variable bending stress. That is here the combined variable stresses are there. So we need to find out the mean and the components of stresses for shear. That is a mean stress, torsional shear stress in mean as well as the variable, as well as a mean and variable stress for bending. Sigma m and sigma v for bending stress, tau m and tau v for shear stress. And cross section is uniform. There is no keyway is present. So KF we don't need to take KF value to determine the required shaft diameter. Again, we need to find out the diameter. And the strengths are given. Ultimate strength sigma u is given. Yield strength sigma y is given. And the endurance limit is taken as half the ultimate strength sigma e is given. They are given the relation between sigma e to the sigma u. And fact porosity is given, and the derating factors can also be given here. Clear? So here you can apply the condition for that. So using these maximum torques and minimum torque, you can find out so the mean stress and variable stress using the relation. Using the maximum minimum, you can find out the maximum shear stress, and that is a tau max. You can find out. Tau max is given by 16T by. It is 16T max by dq. So similarly, tau minimum torsional shear stress is given by 16 T minimum by dq. So using these T max and T minimum, we can find out mean torsional shear stress and variable stresses. So that is a tau max. We know that relations plus tau minimum by 2. And variable stress is given by tau max minus tau minimum by 2. Similarly, maximum and minimum bending moments are given. So you can find out variable loads and mean loads in bending. So here the bending stresses are given by sigma max is given by 32 F max by dq, and sigma minimum is given by 32 F minimum by dq. The similar case earlier case. So we can find out the mean stress in normal bending, sigma max plus sigma minimum by 2, and here sigma max minus sigma minimum by 2. Here all the mean stress as well as the variable stresses. So we'll get in terms of diameters. Why? Because diameter is unknown. So using the maximum and minimum torsional moments, you can find out the mean torsional stress and variable torsional stress in shear. And using maximum bending moment and minimum bending moment, we have find out that maximum and mean and variable stress in bending. So this is used to find out sigma ne. So using the relation sigma m plus sigma v into sigma y by sigma e. So here sigma e can be multiplied by that derating factor, that is K surface and K size. And similarly, using this mean stress and variable stress in shear, you can find out so tau e is equivalent shear stress, that is a tau m plus tau v tau y by tau v into K surface into K size. So in this case, tau m, we are find out in terms of diameter here, tau m, and tau v, so variable stress we will also find out here, and tau y. So we know that the relation of tau y can be given by tau y equal to sigma y by 2. So half the yield strength we can take tau y. here I can write tau y equal to sigma y by 2, and derating factors are given, and tau e you can get using the relation tau e equal to 0.55 times of sigma e. So there is a relation between endurance strength in normal endurance strength, the endurance strength in shear 0.55 times of sigma e. So using that I can get tau es in terms of diameter. Similarly, so sigma e equivalent normal stress in bending. So mean stress is find out in terms of diameter. Variable stress is also find out in terms of diameter. Yield strength is given in data, and sigma e endurance strength is also given in data, and derating factors are given. Using that, you can apply the maximum normal stress as well as the maximum shear stress. The relations are known now. So that is the sigma ne max is equal to sigma ne by 2 root of sigma ne by 2 whole square plus tau es square. These can be equated to the sigma y by FOS. So FOS is known, is given in the data, and sigma y is also known. So you can from this equation you can find out the diameter. Similarly, you can also find the maximum equivalent shear stress tau es max using the relation sigma ne by 2 whole square plus tau es whole square. This can be equated to sigma y by 2 into FOS. So using that maximum of principal stress as well as maximum shear stress, you can find out each of the diameters. So this is how we can apply the combined loading conditions in order to design the machine components. You can also proceed with some of many of the examples that is given in your question bank. You can proceed with the application of the example problems that you can solve in our class. Okay, thank you.